Sure, let's break this down simply. What is the Green Credit Program, GCP? 1. What is it? The Green Credit Program, GCP, is a plan to encourage people and companies to take actions that help the environment. 2. How does it work? People and businesses can do things that are good for the environment, like planting trees or reducing pollution. In return, they get green credits, which are like rewards for their efforts. 3. Purpose. The goal is to promote a way of living that is better for the planet. It's part of a bigger effort called LIFE, which stands for Lifestyle for Environment, introduced at a big climate conference. Recent update. The Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, MoFCC, has said that when using the Green Credit Program, the focus should be on restoring ecosystems rather than just planting trees. What does restoring ecosystems mean? 1. Restoring ecosystems. It means fixing and improving natural areas to make them healthy again. For example, if a forest has been damaged, restoring it might involve planting trees, cleaning up pollution, and helping animals return to their home. 2. Not just tree planting. While planting trees is important, it's only one part of the picture. Ecosystem restoration includes making sure that the whole environment is healthy and balanced, not just adding more trees. Example. Tree planting. Imagine you plant 100 trees in a park. This helps, but if the park has trash, broken fences, and no animals, the environment isn't really healthy. Ecosystem restoration. Now, if you clean up the trash, fix the fences, plant trees, and bring back animals, you're helping the whole park become a thriving, healthy place. Summary. Green Credit Program, GCP, a reward system for actions that help the environment. Focus. Fixing and improving whole ecosystems, not just planting trees. This approach makes sure that efforts to help the environment lead to real, long-term improvements in nature's health. Let's simplify the 8 key activities covered by the Green Credit Program, GCP. 1. Tree plantation. What it is. Planting new trees in areas where there are few trees. Why it matters. Trees help clean the air and provide homes for animals. 2. Water management. What it is. Using water carefully and saving it when possible. Why it matters. Water is essential for all life, and managing it well helps prevent shortages. 3. Sustainable agriculture. What it is. Farming in a way that doesn't harm the environment. Why it matters. It helps grow food without damaging soil or using harmful chemicals. 4. Waste management. What it is. Handling and disposing of trash properly. Why it matters. Reduces pollution and keeps the environment clean. 5. Air pollution reduction. What it is. Activities to lower the amount of harmful substances in the air. Why it matters. Clean air is important for health and the environment. 6. Mangrove conservation and restoration. What it is. Protecting and fixing mangrove forests near coastlines. Why it matters. Mangroves support marine life and protect coastlines from erosion. Each of these activities helps make the environment healthier and more sustainable. Sure, let's break it down step by step. What is the Green Credit Program, GCP? 1. Giving money for forests. Who can give money? Anyone, like you or a company, can help by giving money. Why give money? This money is used to fix and restore forests that are damaged. 2. How to give money. Apply ICFRE. To give money, you need to apply to a group called ICFRE. What is ICFRE? The Indian Council of Forestry Research and Education, ICFRE, is a group that manages these donations. What happens next? 3. Using the money. ICF's role. ICFRE makes sure the money is used to restore the forests. They give the money to state forest departments, which do the actual planting and fixing. 4. Checking the trees. Wait 2 years. After planting, we wait for 2 years. ICFRE will check how well the trees are growing after these 2 years. 5. Earning green credits. What is a green credit? Each healthy tree gets a green credit. What you can do with green credits. For legal rules. If a company has used forest land for something else, they need to show they have helped restore a similar area of forest. Green credits can help them meet this requirement. For reports. Companies can also use green credits to show they are following environmental rules or doing their part for corporate social responsibility, CSR. Example 1. Giving money. Imagine you and your friends want to help fix a park that has been damaged. You each give some money. 2. East Freeze Roll. This group takes your money and tells the local forest team to plant trees and clean up the park. 3. Waiting and checking. After 2 years, the park team waits 2 years to see how the trees are growing. 4. Getting green credits. Healthy trees. If the trees are healthy, each gets a green credit. Using credits. If a company used parkland for something else, they can use these credits to show they help other areas. They can also use credits to show they are doing good for the environment. Let's break down how green credits can be used for reporting and meeting standards. Using green credits for reporting and standards. 1. Environmental, social, and governance, ESG standards. What are ESG standards? Environmental, how a company affects the environment, like pollution, waste, and resource use. Social, how a company treats people in communities, like worker rights and community support. Governance, how a company is run, like transparency and fairness. How green credits help. Companies can use green credits to show they are meeting these ESG standards. It's proof they are doing something good for the environment. 2. Corporate social responsibility, CSR obligations. What is CSR? CSR is when companies take actions to help society and the environment beyond just making money. How green credits help. Companies can use green credits to demonstrate that they are fulfilling their CSR goals. It shows they are taking steps to improve the environment and support sustainable practices. Example 1. Company's CSR goals. Imagine a company wants to show it's doing good for the environment. They've donated money to plant trees and restore forests. 2. Earning green credits. The trees grow and earn green credits for the company. 3. Using credits. For ESG reporting, the company can show these credits to prove they are meeting environmental standards. For CSR reporting, the company can also use these credits to show they are fulfilling their CSR commitments to the environment. Certainly. Let's dive into more detail in a simple way. How to earn green credits. 1. Register your activities. What you do. If you or your company do something good for the environment, like planting trees, you need to sign up for it on a special website. Why? This is how you let the program know about your work so it can be counted. 2. Verification process. What happens next? After you register, a special group checks to make sure your work is done properly. How? They look at your project and confirm that it meets the program's rules. 3. Getting your certificate. What you receive. If everything is correct, you get a certificate that says how many green credits you earned. Purpose. This certificate shows that your work has been verified and rewarded. Calculating green credits. 1. Factors used for calculation. Resource requirements. How much money, time, or materials were used. Scale and scope. The size of the area where you worked and the extent of the activity. Size and other details. Other important details related to your project. 2. How credits are calculated. Calculation method. The program uses these factors to figure out how many credits your activity deserves based on the benefits it provides. Managing and trading green credits. 1. Green Credit Registry. What it is. A record book where all the green credits earned are kept track of. Why it matters. It helps keep track of who has earned credits and how many. 2. Trading platform. What it is. An online marketplace where you can buy and sell green credits. How it works. If you have extra credits or need more, you can trade them with others in this market. Example. 1. Your activity. Action. You plant 100 trees in a park. Registration. You go to the website and tell them about your tree planting project. 2. Verification. Check. An agency comes and looks at your project to make sure it was done right. 3. Certification. Result. You get a certificate showing how many green credits you earned for planting the trees. 4. Calculation. Factors considered. They look at how many trees you planted, the area of land, and other details to calculate your credits. 5. Registry and trading. Registry. Your credits are listed in the Green Credit Registry, so everyone can see how many you have. Trading. If you want, you can sell some of your credits or buy from others using the trading platform. Significance of the Green Credit Program, GCP. 1. Aligns with India's environmental policies. Framework for Protection, Environment Protection Act, 1986. This law provides guidelines to protect the environment in India. National Environment Policy, 2006. This policy aims to improve environmental quality and sustainable development. Role of GCP. Supports policies. The GCP helps implement these laws by encouraging activities that restore and protect forests, wildlife, and other natural areas. Enhances protection. It complements existing policies by adding a mechanism for tracking and rewarding environmental efforts. 2. Supports India's climate goals. International commitments. COP26 agreement at the 2021 UN Climate Change Conference, COP26, India committed to actions to fight climate change. Role of GCP. Contributes to goals. The GCP is part of India's strategy to meet its climate commitments, such as reducing carbon emissions and increasing green cover. Tracks progress. By rewarding green activities, the GCP helps India track and report its progress toward these international climate goals. Summary. Supports existing policies. The GCP works alongside India's environmental laws and policies to protect nature. Aids climate goals. It helps India fulfill its international climate commitments by encouraging and tracking environmental efforts. By integrating the GCP with existing policies and climate goals, strengthens its approach to environmental protection and sustainable development. Significance of the Green Credit Program, GCP. 1. Aligned with India's climate goals. International commitments. COP26 pledges. At the 2021 UN Climate Change Conference, COP26, India committed to significant action to combat climate change, such as reducing carbon emissions. Connection to other initiatives. Carbon Credit Trading Scheme. The GCP complements this scheme, which was introduced by the Energy Conservation Amendment Act 2022. Broader scope. While carbon credits focus on reducing CO2 emissions, the GCP expands tradable credits to include a variety of sustainable activities like forest restoration and water management. 2. Aligned with global ecosystem restoration initiatives. UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration, 2021 to 2030. Global focus. This UN initiative emphasizes the need to scale up efforts to restore damaged ecosystems worldwide. India's role. Inclusive approach. India's GCP involves a wide range of stakeholders, including individuals, communities, and companies in the restoration process. Leveraging traditional knowledge. The program also values and uses traditional conservation practices, which have been effective for centuries to restore ecosystems. Summary. Climate goals. The GCP helps India meet its international climate commitments and works alongside other environmental initiatives like the Carbon Credit Trading Scheme. Global restoration efforts. The GCP aligns with global efforts to restore ecosystems, involving diverse participants and utilizing traditional knowledge. Trading with both national and global frameworks, the GCP strengthens India's efforts to protect the environment and restore ecosystems in a sustainable and inclusive manner. Green Credit Program versus carbon credits. 1. Independence from carbon credits. Separate programs. The Green Credit Program, GCP, and the Carbon Credit Trading Scheme are distinct initiatives, different laws. The GCP is its own program, while the Carbon Credit Trading Scheme is governed by the Energy Conservation Act of 2001 and the Carbon Credit Trading Scheme, 2023. 2. What are carbon credits? Permits for emissions. Carbon credits are permits that allow an individual or company to emit a certain amount of carbon dioxide, CO2, or other greenhouse gases. 1 credit equals 1 ton. 1 carbon credit equals the right to emit 1 ton of CO2 or an equivalent amount of other greenhouse gases. Trading carbon credits. Companies can buy and sell these credits, often to comply with environmental regulations or to offset their emissions. 3. Overlap between green credits and carbon credits. Climate co-benefits. Activities under the GCP, such as planting trees or restoring ecosystems, may also reduce or remove carbon emissions. This could help in earning carbon credits as well. Dual benefits. For example, if a company plants trees under the GCP, it could earn green credits for the environmental benefit and potentially acquire carbon credits if the activity reduces carbon emissions. Summary. Separate programs. The GCP and carbon credit trading scheme are independent with different goals and legal frameworks. Potential overlap. Environmental activities under the GCP may also reduce carbon emissions, allowing participants to potentially earn both green credits and carbon credits. In essence, while the Green Credit Program and Carbon Credit Trading Scheme operate separately, they can complement each other, offering multiple and financial benefits. Challenges with the Green Credit Program, GCP. 1. Impact on forest ecology. Criticism of the approach, unscientific methods. Critics argue that the rules guiding the GCP, especially those concerning the identification of degraded land parcels for tree planting, might not be scientifically sound. Potential ecological harm. Planting trees on these lands, particularly if they are labeled as degraded, could harm the local ecosystems rather than help them. Vague definitions. Ambiguous terms. The term degraded is often used to describe scrublands and open forests, but this is considered too vague. Risk of misuse. Mislabeling these areas could lead to large-scale plantations that are inappropriate for the local environment. Consequences. Altered soil quality. Large-scale tree plantations might change the soil's natural composition, making it less suitable for native plants. Loss of biodiversity. Replacing local vegetation with non-native or monoculture plantations could lead to a significant loss of local plant and animal species. Disruption of ecosystem services. Essential services provided by natural ecosystems, such as water regulation and habitat provision, could be disrupted. 2. Creation of green deserts. What is a green desert? Simplified ecosystems. A green desert refers to an area where trees are planted without considering the complexity and diversity of the original ecosystem. Poor biodiversity. While these areas might have a high tree count, they lack the variety of species and ecological functions that characterize a healthy natural forest. Problems with simplified plantations. Disrupted balance. These plantations can disrupt the natural balance, failing to support the range of species that a natural forest would. Overemphasis on tree count. The GCP rules have been criticized for focusing too much on the number of trees, ignoring the fact that a real forest is much more than just trees. It includes multiple layers of plants, animals, and other organisms that interact in complex ways. Summary of methodological concerns with the Green Credit Program, GCP. 1. Environmental soundness of methodology. Questionable practices. The methods used to generate green credits, particularly through tree planting, have been criticized for potentially harming the environment. Regulatory gaps. Critics worry that these methods might not fully address existing regulatory gaps, which could lead to unintended environmental damage. 2. Pressure on wastelands. Misuse of important ecosystems. The program's focus on planting trees in areas labeled as degraded land parcels or wastelands can be problematic because these lands are often ecologically significant. Ecological importance of wastelands. Wastelands, such as grasslands, are vital for carbon sequestration, storing carbon to reduce climate change, and supporting unique species of plants and animals. Risk to biodiversity. If these areas are converted into tree plantations, it could lead to the loss of local species and disrupt the natural functions of these ecosystems. Way forward, improving the Green Credit Program. 1. Biodiversity-based afforestation. Focus on diversity. Instead of just planting a large number of trees, the focus should shift to planting a variety of native species that naturally belong to the area. Mimicking natural forests. By doing so, the plantations can better resemble natural forests, providing a habitat for a wide range of wildlife and maintaining the ecosystem's health. 2. Technology integration. Using advanced tools. Remote sensing and satellite imagery can help identify areas that are genuinely degraded and suitable for tree planting. Preventing harm. This approach minimizes the risk of disturbing existing ecosystems that are already functioning well. 3. Transparency and knowledge sharing. Clear definitions. The terms degraded land and wasteland need to be clearly and transparently defined to avoid misuse and ensure the program's success. Collaboration. It's essential to promote knowledge sharing and capacity building among all stakeholders, including forest departments, businesses, and NGOs, so that they can carry out the program responsibly and effectively. Summary. Biodiversity over quantity. The focus should be on restoring diverse ecosystems rather than merely increasing the number of trees. Use of technology. Advanced technology should guide where and how tree planting is done to avoid harming important ecosystems. Clear communication. Ensuring that everyone involved understands the program's goals and methods is crucial for its success. This includes making sure that the terms used are clear and that all stakeholders have the knowledge they need to protect the environment effectively. By addressing these concerns and focusing on a more holistic approach, the Green Credit Program can be more successful in achieving its environmental goals without causing unintended harm to ecosystems. Sagar Samajik Sahayog and CSR Guidelines Key Points. 1. Purpose. Empower ports to address local community issues swiftly through direct CSR activities. 2. CSR funding allocation. Ports were 100 crore turnover, 3 to 5% on CSR. Ports 100 to 500 crore turnover, 2 to 3% on CSR. Ports was 500 crore turnover, 0.52% on CSR. 2% of CSR budget for project monitoring. 3. CSR committee, led by the deputy chairperson of the port, includes 2 other members. CSR projects integrated into the port's business plans. Annual CSR plan required. 4. Allocation and focus areas. Focus on activities in Section 70 of the Major Port Authorities Act, 2021. 20% of CSR budget for Sainik Kalyan Board, National Maritime Heritage Complex, National Youth Development Fund. 78% for social environmental welfare, e.g. education, health, renewable energy. 2% for monitoring CSR projects. 5. Significance. Fosters community welfare and development. Encourages partnerships with local communities, aims to make CSR a powerful tool for positive change, reflects government's commitment to inclusive, community-centric development. 6. CSR overview. CSR, companies taking responsibility for their social and environmental impact. 4 types. Environmental, ethical, philanthropic, economic. Applicable to companies with high turnover, net worth, or profit, as per Companies Act 2013. Key activities: eradicating hunger, promoting education, healthcare, environmental sustainability, etc. This note covers all key aspects of the Sagar Samajik Sahayog initiative and related CSR guidelines, ensuring you have a quick overview. Sure. Let's break down what COP26 is all about in the simplest way. What is COP26? COP26 is a big meeting about climate change. It's like a big class where countries come together to talk about how to keep our planet safe and healthy. The meeting will be held in the UK from October 31st to November 12th. Why is COP26 important? The world's climate experts, called the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, have shared some important news. They say that our Earth will face more heat waves, droughts, when there is not enough rain, extreme rain, and rising sea levels in the future. This is why COP26 is very important. It's a chance for countries to plan how to handle these problems. What are the goals of COP26? COP26 has 4 main goals. Let's look at each one. 1. Net zero by 2050. What does net zero mean? It means we need to balance the amount of harmful gases, like carbon dioxide, we put into the air with the amount we take out. The goal is to have no extra harmful gases in the air by 2050. How to achieve this? Stop using coal. Coal is a type of fuel that makes a lot of pollution. We need to use less of it. Stop cutting down forests. Trees help take harmful gases out of the air. Use electric cars? Electric cars are better for the environment than gasoline cars. Invest in clean energy. We should put money into energy sources that don't harm the planet, like wind or solar power. 2. Adapt to protect communities and natural habitats. What does this mean? We need to protect our homes, natural places like forests and rivers, and the animals that live in them from climate change. How to do this? Build defenses. Create ways to protect people from things like floods or strong storms. Restore ecosystems. Fix damaged natural places so they can support wildlife again. 3. Mobilize finance. What is this about? Richer countries promise to give money to help poorer countries deal with climate change. How much money? They promised at least $100 billion every year to support climate change efforts in poorer countries. Extra information to help you understand. Climate change. This is when the Earth's weather patterns change in a way that causes problems like more extreme heat or storms. Renewables. These are sources of energy that can be used over and over, harming the environment, like the sun, solar power, or wind power. Let's break this down step by step, making it as simple as possible. Working together to deliver at COP26. At COP26, one of the big tasks is to complete something called the Paris Rulebook. What is the Paris Rulebook? Paris Agreement. This is an international deal made in 2015 where many countries agreed to work together to fight climate change. Paris Rulebook. Think of it like a guidebook that tells countries exactly how they should act to keep the promises they made in the Paris Agreement. Leaders at COP26 will work together to finish this guidebook. Suggestions for India at COP26. India, like other countries, has to think about how it can reduce its pollution and help fight climate change. Here's what is suggested. 1. Update nationally determined contributions, NDCs. What are NDCs? NDCs are basically each country's own plan on how they will reduce the amount of harmful gases they release into the air. Why update? India should make its plans even better and more effective. 2. Sector-by-sector development plans. What does this mean? India needs to have a plan for each part of its economy, like electricity, transport, etc., to ensure it grows in a way that is good for the environment. Decarbonization. This means reducing the amount of carbon dioxide produced, especially in electricity and transportation. For example, using more electric cars instead of gasoline cars. 3. Transition the coal sector. Why focus on coal? Coal is a big source of pollution. India needs to figure out how to reduce its use of coal and switch to cleaner energy sources. What is the Conference of Parties, COP? 1. About COP. COP stands for Conference of Parties. This is a big meeting where countries come together to discuss how to handle climate change. Under UNFCCC, COP meetings are held under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC. This was created in 1994 to help the world reduce harmful gases in the air and fight climate change. 2. COP's main jobs. Mitigate climate change. This means taking steps to reduce the damage caused by climate change. Adapt to climate change. This means preparing for the changes that climate change will bring, like stronger storms or droughts, so we can handle them better. Education and awareness. COP also promotes teaching people about climate change and spreading awareness. Example to simplify. Imagine you are part of a big school project where the goal is to make the school more environmentally friendly. 1. Paris Rulebook. This is like making a checklist of what each student in the group needs to do, so everyone knows how to help with the project. 2. NDCs for India. Each student writes down how they will personally reduce waste or save energy. India, like a student, updates its list to make it even better. 3. Decarbonization. The school switches from using old energy-hungry lights to energy-saving LED lights, similar to how India would switch to cleaner energy. 4. If the school used a coal heater, they would need to switch to a cleaner heating, just like India needs to reduce coal use. This way, by everyone working together with a clear plan, the school, or in our case, the world, can become a cleaner, healthier place. Let's break down this information about the COP meetings in the simplest way. Meetings of COP. What is COP? COP stands for Conference of Parties. It's like a big meeting where countries get together to talk about how to fight climate change. How often do they meet? The members of COP have been meeting every year since 1995. Imagine it like a yearly class reunion where everyone comes back to discuss important issues. Who are the members? The COP has 198 members. This includes countries like India, China, and the USA. Where do they meet? Usually, the meetings happen in Bonn, Germany, because that's where the UNFCCC office, called the Secretariat, is located. But sometimes, another country offers to host the meeting. The COP presidency. What is the COP president? The COP president is like the leader or head of the meeting. This person helps guide the discussions and make sure everything runs smoothly. How is the president chosen? The president's position rotates among different regions of the world. These regions are 1. Africa, 2. Asia, 3. Latin America and the Caribbean, 4. Central and Eastern Europe, 5. Western Europe and others. Who becomes the president? The president is usually the environment minister of the country that is hosting the COP meeting. The person is chosen at the beginning of each COP meeting. Important COP meetings with big outcomes. Here are some of the most important COP meetings that had major results. 1. 1995, COP1, Berlin, Germany. Why important? It was the first ever COP meeting where countries began discussing serious steps to fight climate change. 2. 1997, COP3, Kyoto Protocol. What happened? The Kyoto Protocol was created. This was a big deal because it legally required developed countries to reduce their pollution. 3. 2002, COP8, New Delhi, India. What happened? The Delhi Declaration was made. This focused on helping the poorest countries and talked about the need to share technology to fight climate change. 4. 2007, COP13, Bali, Indonesia. What happened? Countries agreed on the Bali Roadmap and Bali Action Plan. This was a guide on how to continue the fight against climate change after 2012. It included 5 main ideas: shared goals, reducing pollution, adapting to changes, using technology, and getting money to fight climate change. The 5. 2010, COP16, Mexico. What happened? The Cancun Agreements were made. This was a package of ideas to help developing countries deal with climate change. It included the Green Climate Fund, a fund to help poor countries; the Technology Mechanism, a system to share technology; the Cancun Adaptation Framework, a plan to help countries adapt to climate change. Example to simplify. Imagine you're part of a school committee that meets every year to make the dinner. Meetings. You meet every year to discuss what you can do to make the school more eco-friendly. President. Each year, a different student from a different grade, region is chosen to lead the meeting. Decisions. Over the years, you've made big decisions, like creating a rule to reduce waste, setting up a fund to buy eco-friendly materials, and sharing new ways to save energy.